Hey everybody, it is Deanna, and we are here, Fearless Entrepreneurship Live, where I am coming on, and today we're talking about passion and perseverance, and I have my guest with me today, Kara Wasser with OhanaLink Technologies, and now OhanaLink Baby, which is the first piece of this whole big vision that you have. So, Kara, thank you so much for coming on with me today. I truly appreciate you taking out some time for this.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and share what we've been up to.
Awesome. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, who you are and what you do?
Yeah, okay. Well, my name's Kara Wasser, and I'm the CEO of OhanaLink Technologies. We're a healthcare tech company that offers mobile communication solutions that are designed to directly connect patients with their Ohana or their family during health-related events. We are just launching our first product, which is the mobile app OhanaLink Baby. And OhanaLink Baby connects parents with their Ohana, which creating an experience around pregnancy and delivery day. And I'll get into a little bit more about how I came up with the idea and why this is so needed, not only generally but more now than ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear about it. I've downloaded the app, OhanaLink Baby, and it is so flipping cool. Like, where was this when I was having my boys? It's oh my gosh, how did you come up with this idea? I mean, it's one of those ideas that seem so basic, like it should have been around forever. Yet why didn't anybody think of it? So
Yeah.
how did this come up?
Well, I actually live about an hour and a half away from my hometown. My sister was having a baby, and I felt really disconnected throughout,
Mm,
I guess, the journey.
yeah.
And when it came to delivery day, I was actually in Erie that day when she went into labor, and I never received notification that she was in labor. So I left town and came home and found out about 20 minutes away from home that she was in labor. And I, at that point, had to make a
Oh,
decision because I have my own kid. They had school the next day, and I was like, okay, do I turn around and go back or whatever? Because I wanted to be there and I wanted to be involved. Um, but I decided to stay home, and I ended up missing it.
oh
And then, the
no.
community. Yeah, I missed it, but the bad part was, I had decided that we were going to text message and have this group message, and everyone will be in the loop and it'll be fine, and it was a very chaotic.
I lost sound. Hold on, Kara. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can anybody hear her? Let me know if those watching, if it's just me. Oh, wait, I think you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear
Okay,
you.
there we are.
Okay, perfect. I was like, oh, where'd she go? So go ahead. Okay.
Okay. So I actually started looking for this app that night, and I was like, "There's a mobile waiting room where we can all be in the same area, communicating. I know who I'm talking to. Why isn't this a thing?"
Yeah.
So yeah. So the next day, I actually made it up to meet the baby, my beautiful niece Alice Ann, and
Oh,
I couldn't help but feel just a little bit sad that I was disconnected, and so I just kind of sat on this idea of why isn't there something that's connecting not only expectant parents with their families and their closest circle, but in all health experiences.
mhm.
Anyways, that's how the idea came about.
I love that, and I can relate because I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. My family's all in Youngstown, Ohio, and I currently live in Montana. So I get that feeling disconnected. Like you're still there, and they do everything to kind of include you, but yes, I get that. And I love that you created this. So through this process, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure it was an easy process
Yeah.
and you didn't hit any walls and right. All the doors open when they were
Ah.
supposed to open.
Yeah, well, I do believe that's the case. I do believe that the doors open when they are supposed to, but it definitely wasn't easy. I sat on the idea for about 4 or 5 months actually, because I wasn't a tech person, I was a banker. So I was actually at work, one day, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Something's bothering you. What's going on?" And I said, "I just have this idea for an app, and I really feel like I'm, like, being called to do this." And he was like, "Oh, well, I had dinner with a friend last night that is looking for somebody to help, make an app." And I was like, "No way." So that day, I it was just like fate. So I ended up reaching out to her that day, and we ended up meeting later that week. She loved the idea, and we started building the web-based platform from that point on. So
So what
yeah,
obstacles did you hit while you were launching the app?
um, many. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing actually, and to that point, I didn't even know I was starting a business. So I was just gonna make an app. So,
Yeah,
some of the biggest obstacles I had was just, like, getting the knowledge that I needed, and being a good student, was
yeah,
probably the most important thing that I did. I just
yeah.
sat back and started learning. So, yeah, that was one of the biggest obstacles. The other obstacles were time. I had a full-time job. I have 2 kids and a husband, and, so finding time to build a business, was very challenging. I'm very lucky in that my full-time career at the time was flexible in time. I did work from home, and I was able to, work evenings there and fit in things that I needed to fit in to build this business on the side. But so time was a challenge. And then making new connections was also a challenge. I don't believe that you can fast forward. I think someone could have handed me $250,000 on day one and said, "Here you go build your app." And I would have messed it up.
Yeah.
Because I really think that I think it takes time to connect with the right people,
Mm,
and build your network. And I had to start over and building my network. I had a network of realtors and lenders and bankers, and that was not the market or the connections that I needed at the time. So
yeah.
yeah.
You said so many things in there that I think so many entrepreneurs and small business owners can totally relate to. I mean, starting with the beginning, I have no idea what I was doing, right? I think that's so common with a lot of entrepreneurs. They are just like, I have no clue. I don't even know like what's come over me. Like, why, how do I think I can even
Yeah.
pull this off? Like this is crazy. This is such a crazy,
Yeah.
there's something that just doesn't stop you. And you kept pushing through. What was that every time like that, um those thoughts, right, those roadblocks popped up, or time, like you said, you
Yeah.
you have children, you're a mom, and you didn't know what you were doing, and it just, I'm sure a lot of imposter syndrome, like, you are in finance, you are not in tech, you need to stop.
Yeah. I
What did you
still
do?
struggle with it. Yeah, I mean, I still struggle with the imposter syndrome a little bit. There's days that I'm like, "What am I doing?" But I just believed so deeply in my product, in the problem that I was trying to solve, and so I felt like it was up to me at that point to figure it out.
Yeah,
It was almost like a gift that was given to me, and I was on a mission to just figure it out. And
yeah,
so that's what I'm still doing. Lucky for me, I have been connected with some of the most amazing people who are now my team. And I think that an entrepreneur, one of the most important things is realizing that you, number one, can't do it all, and you don't have to do it all. You can
Yeah.
find the people that have the knowledge already, to help you create whatever it is that you want to create. I think so many times people just stop. I get so many messages. I can't even tell you how many times I get the same message that, where do you start? And how did you know what to do? And I didn't. So, but there's other people around me that did know how. So, just really leaning into those people and, recognizing that it's not about me, it's about the team, and it's about us all being on the same mission to
Yeah.
accomplish this goal. So,
Again, great points. You mentioned earlier that you had to start over as far as your network, because you had a network of bankers and realtors, and now you needed this whole. How the heck do you do that? How do you rebuild your network? Like, what did you do to do that?
um, I attended everything that I could. There were times when I would work long days, and then there would be an open coffee at the e-center, or an event at uh, some networking events, and you just go. And I know it's so uncomfortable. I was not a conversation starter. I'm still not a conversation starter. But you just show up. And I actually mentor students at a local college here, and that is the number one thing that I tell them is show up and do the stuff you don't want to do. I didn't want to spend my evenings there most of the time.
Yeah.
But those evenings and those coffees connected me to people that work for me now, people that help
That's
me
awesome.
get connected to the funding and all of the things. So really just networking.
Yeah. How long was that process from the time that you first made that decision that, yes, I'm going to do this, right? Not the time when you're kind of had it on the back burner, but when you're like, all right, now's the time. I want to do this, to the launch, which was 2 days ago, right?
Yeah,
Was your
two
launch?
days ago. Ye-
So
Yeah,
how
2 days
long was that?
ago. Um, a little over 3.5 years.
So, and the reason
So
I asked is because I had a feeling that it was a long gap, right? And I think so many people, when they're starting a business, and it doesn't matter if you're starting a tech business or a brick and mortar, right? But they think it's supposed to happen overnight, and that you come up
yeah.
with the idea, and oh, tomorrow you're a business, and every all the customers are going to come, and money's going to start pouring in, and life is going to be great. And it doesn't. It took 3.5 years for you to do that.
Yeah, it took 3.5 years, and I think that one of the most important things that I guess didn't do was put an end date on what I would consider success. So I feel like once you put if I'm not successful by, you've already quit. You've already
Yeah.
given up. So there was no end date. I was willing to just do whatever it took to get where I needed to go. Um, but really, the last year and a half, I left my full-time job in January of 2019 before I had received any funding, before I had a product, like a mobile app product. I had a web-based
Yeah.
version that we used for testing. But I was going all in, and so I was betting the farm that I was going to be successful, and you just have to go for it sometimes. So.
When that happened and you left your corporate job, were you
Mhm.
scared? Were you confident? Or were you both? Like a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah, I was a little bit of both, and I had already started making connections for some funding. I was not approved for the funding initial or when I had left my job, we were in the process of seeking it out. I knew that I needed to, I was going to do it whether I got the funding or whether I had to spend my whole life savings to create this.
Yeah.
So it was terrifying. Luckily I have an amazing husband that never one time said, "Are you crazy?" I mean, he probably has said, "Am I crazy?" But he's never but he's never discouraged me from just going for it. And so I'm very lucky to have that. And he's just been an amazing partner through it all. And I think it's been important that I've had that support in him. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And kudos to your husband for being that guy that supported you,
yeah.
because a lot of times when women go into business, it's seen as a hobby and it's cute,
Yeah.
and it's not really taken as seriously as when a man decides to launch a business. So I give your husband a ton of credit for just backing you and supporting you 100%. And even there may have been days that he did think you were crazy, and I'm sure there were days
Yeah.
you thought you might be crazy, but he
Yeah.
still supported you. So that's really cool. During that time, was there ever a time when you thought, this isn't going to work? Like, I can't do it. I'm hitting too many walls. Like, no, maybe I am nuts. Maybe I should just not go through with this.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Oh, that's
There
awesome.
were
That's awesome.
no. I mean, no. I mean, I knew I was going to do it. I didn't know how. And obviously I hit a lot of walls. I had a lot of no's for funding. I've had a lot of you're not ready yet. You're not there yet. And those kinds of things just made me reconsider the path forward. But I never stopped showing up. And I still to this day obviously fully believe in what we are creating, bigger than OhanaLink Baby. And so there, quitting was just never an option. Still not
That's
an option.
great. That's good, because it can be really hard to hear no. And
It's very hard.
really defeating, especially if you're trying to get funding to make this work, and people, like, it's just no, no, no. Were you ever not taken
Mhm.
seriously by maybe your sphere or people on the outside that you like? Do they ever look at you like just go away, like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I mean, like in my personal circle or
wherever,
in
and
like
anything?
yeah. Yeah. In my personal circle, my dad still doesn't know what I do.
Oh,
He
really?
still doesn't really. No, if he's watching, hi dad, but I don't think he fully understands still what I'm doing. So, not that he didn't take me seriously, but he didn't understand it, and so he thought, you stay at your corporate job, until you're making money. So that kind of stuff was hard for me a little bit. And also in my corporate job, I still stayed there for the first, 2 years while I was figuring out what I was doing. And I was like, I'm going to quit here someday soon. And they were like, mm-hmm. And when I, so when I did, they were like when? Like, what do you mean you're quitting? And I'm like, I told you guys, like, I told you I was going to quit. So so there were times like that, I wasn't taken I don't know that I wasn't taken seriously, but it is, you tell someone I'm going to make an app and I'm going to turn it into a business. And I think so few people actually take their ideas and turn them into businesses, which is super tragic.
Yeah.
But, so I just, yes, there were definitely times when I wasn't taken seriously. And, even in the business world, I'm a female creating a tech business.
Yes.
And that's challenging in itself, I guess. I thankfully have had amazing support. Ben Franklin Technology Partners has always supported me from idea phase till now, and I'm so grateful for them. And so I've had great mentors that did believe in me, so the naysayers didn't matter,
That's
honestly. So
that's
find
so good
find
to
your people.
hear. Because I mean, I'm listening to your story and it's so impressive. And she's Anastasia, and I hope I say that right. She's like, Carrie,
Oh,
you're
Anna.
amazing. And you are amazing. And to not even feel like to get all those no's and to get pushed back and to not be taken seriously, and you never thought about quitting or giving up, that alone is amazing because it is a lot. A lot of people do give up because that's what they're hearing around them, like they should. What do you credit? Like, did you tell yourself something, or what makes you so much different that that wasn't an option for you?
I don't think it makes me different. I just think that I so like, and I'll go back to it again, that I just so strongly believe in what we're what we're accomplishing, and our mission. And Anna, actually, Anastasia, she is one of our developers, and
Awesome.
I have the right people. Yeah, she's amazing.
Mm.
I have just the good people supporting me. And so I think that the difference might be finding your network, finding the people that are going to support you. I mean, there's bad ideas out there. I don't want there's bad ideas out there, but there are times when, you do maybe need to consider a pivot or whatever. But if you even give yourself the option to quit, uh, it's just you're
It's an
setting yourself up
option.
for failure.
I don't like when people
It's an
say, well, let
option,
me
yeah.
try. As soon as I hear the word
No.
try, I'm like, you've already given yourself an out. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. But when you're like, well, I'll
Mhm.
try, even like showing up for
Yeah.
an event, I'll try. No, you won't be there.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, and I also do a lot of personal development and reading and, just, um, building myself up as a person, and the mental state that you have to be in to go after your dreams. I think it takes a certain state of mind, and, so I think nurturing that along the way has really helped me, just move forward.
so for business owners or entrepreneurs who are watching this or watching it on the replay,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is hard. And I always say I don't like sugarcoating stuff, right? If you make the decision to become an entrepreneur, it is not for the weak at heart. It's hard. And it took you 3.5 years to get to your launch. And and that's
Yeah.
I love that you share that because things don't happen overnight. So, what advice do you have for someone who is either right in the midst or has hit that wall, or they're just thinking like right now they think no obstacles will come in the way, right? It's like, oh, I've got this plan and it's going to be amazing. Like, what advice do you have for those entrepreneurs as far as being
Mhm.
able to push through to their purpose and their passion?
Patience. Be patient. There's Ron with patience. There you go, Ron. Red money. Be patient.
Ron, no plan B
There's no
and patience.
shortcut, like I said before. Yeah, Ron. Exactly. There was no plan B, and patience, patience, patience. Showing up every day. There's no shortcut. Creating that network and really just taking it day after day. And sometimes I would show up to my office and not even have a plan for what I was going to work on that day, but I knew I needed to be there and I needed to be present for my business. So just being patient, and also knowing when to make a decision. You could be patient and research all day long, and finding my developers was I'm so grateful for them. But they're in the Ukraine, and so it was it was, do I stay in the US? Do I, there's developers in India that are amazing. There's developers all over the world. And so trying to figure out who to work with and knowing when to make that decision. I could have kept going and researching developers all day long. So knowing when to make a decision, knowing that if you make that decision and you fail, you can still pivot. So being okay with failure, and learning to sort of see the failures as the lessons and the opportunity to maybe go a different direction. So, I launched, we were OhanaLink, or OhanaLink Baby is our brand now, but I was previously known as Baby Arrival Monitor, and that was the first app that I developed. And OhanaLink Baby is very similar, but I launched Baby Arrival Monitor in the end of 2019 and didn't have a solid marketing plan. I didn't have a team around me. And so, I embraced the fact that I had an awesome product. But I also knew that I wasn't ready. So I guess you could see that as a failure. But I saw it as an opportunity to now figure out what's next. And so just, embracing the failures, seeing them as opportunities, being patient, and then not setting that end date for yourself. So just keep going.
I love it. What does Ohana mean? Where did this name
Ohana,
come from?
yeah. So Ohana means family. And we got OhanaLink because we are linking families together. And we're talking about OhanaLink Baby today, but our mission is to connect patients with their loved ones in all areas, in all healthcare settings. So our next product that will be launching shortly is OhanaLink Health. And OhanaLink Health is a more general mobile waiting room that connects patients with their loved ones for surgeries, chronic illness, long-term inpatient care and hospice care scenarios. So, and we have a couple follow-on products coming up after that as well. So we knew that we needed to rebrand ourselves from Baby Arrival Monitor and come up with something that would encompass all of these products that are coming soon. So that's where OhanaLink came from.
I love it. I love it. So how can we get this OhanaLink Baby app? Where do we go? Are you on both? Like Android and iPhone, it's the Play Store.
Yes, we're in the Play Store and we are on the iOS store as well. So you can go there. You can go to ohanalink.tech and go to our baby page, and you can find more information about the product itself, what it offers, different walkthroughs, and so on. So
awesome. I'm over here typing up ohanalink.tech. So this is the website to learn more about OhanaLink Technologies and OhanaLink Baby, and then you will actually take you right to the places where you are able to download the app. So if anybody is listening, it is such a cool app. It really is. You know someone who is going to have a baby, or definitely share it with them. I wish this was out when I was pregnant. Look, I really do, because it's so easy for everybody to be included in part of the process. I think when I had my second son, I think my brother and my sister-in-law were actually like at Cedar Point at the time. So
right.
they missed it too, right? Which would have been really cool.
Right.
So I can relate to your story as well. So no, it's definitely cool. Check it out. Share it. There's so much more coming too. When I logged onto the app, you have so many really, really cool features coming. Not going to give them all away. You have to download the app and check them out. And have whoever is pregnant is the person who actually creates the waiting room, and then adds a person, like a support person, to update when they're not able to update, correct?
Yeah, so mom, dad, whoever can create the waiting room, mom or dad. And then they can add their family and friends. They can add a helper. So whether it be grandma or whoever that's maybe in charge of the updates, they can add a helper. And then the guests would get free access, obviously, to everything in the app. So your guests don't pay for the app. It's the parents that creates the waiting room.
Awesome. Kara, thank you so much for coming on today. I absolutely appreciate you taking out some time to meet with me, to obviously talk about your app, but also to help other business owners and entrepreneurs get a little insight and hopefully some inspiration to not give up on their dream, to keep pushing forward. And oh, Deborah, right? So happy this app is out. You have to go check it out. Yes, I agree, Deborah. But thank you, Kara. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we'll catch everybody next week, Wednesday at the same time. So enjoy your day.
All right, thank you. See ya.